Morning, Jim.
Morning.
Mr. Schmidt.
Right. 10 o'clock.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you?
Started.
Yeah.
Good morning, Hannah.
All right, Pam, do you want to do a roll call?
Arthur,
Here.
Phil, Counselor Jacutis,
Present.
Betty Gonzalez, George Harvey,
President?
Mary Joyner, Carly, Barbara,
Here.
John,
Yes.
Smitty,
Yes.
Joan,
Here.
and Director Gomez.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. First thing on the list is an update from Chris. Chris, that's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I've sent the budget. I emailed it to all of you. No changes really. Besides my salary, it's just what we've been spending on doing these events. So it's pretty much the same. And then I'm gonna update. So Friday we'll be receiving the shuttle bus that was gifted to us from Cataldo, from Dennis Cataldo and the Cataldo company. So initially I said 2 vans, and then he thought we'd do better with like a shuttle bus. So it seats about 10 people, and then it has space for 2 wheelchairs. It's really nice. He showed me a picture. It's white. It's plain, so we could, once we come out with the logo, be able to put the logo on the bus. Yeah, it's really nice, and I'm really excited. So Friday we'll be there. He's gonna bring it to us at DPW. We're gonna leave it there until we have it insured. But yeah, it's really exciting. This will help us a great deal going forward, especially once we open. You know, we'll be able to give people rides to the events and pick them up, and when we go out for activities as well. So this was like a heaven sent for us, and I'm really excited about this.
Is this a new van?
Yeah, it's a shuttle bus.
Yeah,
So it's
but
right-
I mean,
it's
it's
right-
new though.
Yeah, I believe it's new or like used very, very lightly.
Okay, good.
So it's classified right under CDL. So anyone could drive it that has a regular license, which is really important as well. Yeah. So I was meeting with Chris Gator this morning, the director of assessing, and he kind of gave me some updates. If I know it was on your agenda, Pam, but if you want me to speak about it, I can.
I have a question, Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I was looking at, I don't understand what you mean by outside professional. Is that like outsourcing some duties or
Outside
subcontractors?
professional is like whenever we hire someone to do an activity, or when we pay a
okay.
DJ, or like when we pay anyone to do an event, that's outside professional.
Oh, okay, I see. Then I also want to mention, I'm not sure if it's John that has to answer that, the dues and subscriber, when you say 100%, is there any potential that we can get more than that or no?
Yeah. So the dues and subscriptions, that's like when we get a newspaper subscription, or when we have the subscription right now for the program that they go to different countries that we can view it on the computer. So that's another subscription we have. So that's just any subscription, but we could allocate more money to that fund from different areas. But we tend to just put what we think we're going to use, and then if we need more, we'll move it around.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, I'm going to get into the new senior exemption, the proposed changes. They're not official yet, but I think it's really good for the seniors. There's a lot of improvements. So under the 5K, the senior work off is going to go from 600 to 1,500, where you can work off at minimum wage up to 1,500 per year. So that's an increase of almost $900 possibly. And then under the 41C, the senior exemption is currently $500, and it could be, and the proposed change is to $1,000 per year. And then under the 17D senior exemption is currently at $175, but it will include consumer price index changes each year. So if the cost of living goes up by 5% every year, so will this exemption go up as well. And as well as that, the seniors will be able to combine the 5K and one of the other exemptions if they qualify as well. So, these are all proposed changes, but, they're allocating more money to this, which is a good sign and a good thing for the seniors. So I think it's really good news. All right. And then back to the regularly scheduled program. So I'm working on a class with State Rep Dan Cahill. He wants to do a class for Lynn seniors on like some financial programs that he thinks we could take advantage. Well, Lynn seniors can take advantage. So we were thinking first week of April. So I'm just waiting to hear back from Dan and his office. Once I know, I'll relay the message and let you guys know as well. So we'll be planning an Easter party very soon. I want to get you guys feedback on it. I kind of felt bad. I felt like doing stuff at Pondview or Briarcliff was kind of a little out of the way for a lot of the seniors, and we didn't see some people. I mean, we'll have a van now, but maybe doing something downtown might be better. So I just wanted to get your feedback from you guys to see what you thought when it comes to that. And then, so tomorrow we'll be conducting the final round of the interviews for the program manager position. We're down to 2. We started with a pool of over 20-something applicants, and now we're down to the final 2. And to be honest, I think they're both really great candidates, and I think they have a lot to offer to the senior center and to the city of Lynn. So we should be really excited because I think they're going to bring a great deal of energy and, and fresh ideas and things to the senior center. So I'm really excited about this. And then once we hire the program manager, we'll be posting the other 3 positions for the senior center immediately. So the thought was that I would hire the program manager, and then I wanted them to be part of the process to hiring the rest of the staff. So the ball's really rolling down the court, and we're preparing for the opening of the senior center. I also want to update you guys. So I've been meeting with a member of ECCF, and they have some really great grants that we're working on for the senior center. We're basing these grants about on internet access for all seniors and like free tablets and free laptops. So this is going to be huge. I'm really excited about this. We're in the beginning stages, but the ideas that are being thrown out and the things, I think it's going to help everyone a great deal. As we know, a lot of our seniors don't have internet or any like laptops or iPads. So this could be huge if we're able to get it. And I'm really excited about that. What else? Oh, and I'm also working on the other grant, the cooling grant again. So last year I went conservative because we're in the middle of the pandemic and we didn't have a place. So we just did the fans. But this year's plan is to be more like a more elaborate grant. And I want to do like a cooling station at the senior center, or like a water bubbler where people could fill up water bottles and get and cool down as well. So I have a meeting this afternoon with them. So we're gonna have a more, how would I put it? Like we're just gonna be more elaborate in this year's grant and do more things with it.
Chris, I have a question. Do we have a grant writer at our disposal, or is that falling on your shoulders?
So Norris is really good writing grants, but I've applied for these grants myself. So, but if I have any questions, I'll ask Norris. But I don't have any problem like doing it myself, or I'll ask Norris if anything. He's a really good grant writer. But yeah, a lot of these grants I just come about like through relationships, like with ECCF, like Faustina referred them to me. She was like, I know Chris and he's looking to do these things. And then I met with the lady, Margaret. We met for a couple hours and she was like amazed with all the stuff we want to do. And she really wants to help out. So I told her the need that we have in Lynn with like the lack of tablets and laptops and internet access for seniors. So she's excited and she wants to get to work right away. So we'll probably be having something on the horizon very soon. And I'll update you guys and let you know where we're at with that as well. And and then I also want to let you guys know the city of Lynn has been looking for crossing guards for a while. And it's 10 hours a week, an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. It's $14 an hour. I know it's not much, but if anyone is interested, they need a lot of crossing guards and it could be a help for the city as well. So yeah, any questions?
Chris, can you mention that last statement about the crossing guards and what it pays per hour?
So the crossing guard is 10 hours a week, Monday through Friday, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon, and it's $14 an hour.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, you've been very busy lately. We just want to thank you for everything that you're doing, all these grants you're trying to get for the seniors, and the St. Patrick's Day party you had was great. Like you said, we did not see some of our regular seniors there, which I was disappointed. But like you said, it could have been the transportation part to get up to that part of the city. But I do want to say you did a great job with that party for the ones that were there. I think everyone had a great time. Joan, you were there.
I had a wonderful time, and it was a perfect opportunity not only to see people that I haven't seen in years, but because of the politicians that showed up, it was a great venue for me to vent about the different issues I have with the city. I'm sure that they were all thrilled to hear from me. But again, I think the most important part for me was to see people that I haven't seen, even if it, for whatever length of time. And Chris did a wonderful job. I had a great opportunity to sit with Norris and you, Diana. We spoke. So for me, it was just a great day. It was great.
I did notice I went around talking to everybody, and even Chris noticed, I think, there's a few people that I've never seen before. So I went over, and there were new people that they were from that area, and they just thought it was great coming. It was walking distance for them, but getting some new seniors hopefully involved in the senior center.
Right.
Yeah, that's that's great.
You know what Don had told me too, that a lot of the senior housings were having parties around that same time or during the same day as well. So that might have affected how many people really wanted to go out or just stay home and go to a party.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think of that. It was on St. Patrick's Day, so a lot of the buildings probably had their own little parties too.
Yeah, we had
Go ahead, Smitty.
we had a pizza party here same day.
Okay.
And I drove one of the seniors home for that very reason, that they were going to have a party at Silsby Towers at 2:30. So I got her home in enough time so that she could go to the party and not stand there waiting for the ride that was going to come at 2:00, and it might have been late.
There was a party here too at Kings Beach.
Yeah, so a lot of the seniors probably stayed home thinking, it'd be too much for them to try to run back and forth. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about you, but it makes me feel a little bit better knowing they had other activities, and maybe it was not the difficulty to get up there. So,
Yeah.
all right, what else do we have on our list? Does anybody have any questions for Chris?
So, Chris or Mr. Lamanna, we, know and been following the city council vote for the Friend Street location. And we know nothing is final, but we feel that that's probably going to be the spot for the new senior center. What is concerning is our conversations with electeds is that there is a consideration for that space for other city departments that does not complement the senior center. We have been waiting, we could say 2-3 years, but really it's 50 years for the seniors of Lynn to have a space. And I hope that we will look at the Friend Street space and try to think what best complements the senior community. And I feel that from the surveys that we had done prior to COVID and during COVID, one of the main things that kept resonating was the seniors would really like some health advice and health support, whether that was blood pressure checks or nutrition information. And I don't know another department in the city that would complement it any better than the Department of Public Health. And from talking to the electeds, we are hearing that a decision has already been made to put in the administrative of the school department, which we understand needs space, but there are other opportunities coming down the line in the city. And was just wondering who has the final say, the bottom line on what will go into Friend Street once the senior center is there, if that's where it goes.
From a legal perspective, it will be the city council. Once the property is taken, it will go into the public property inventory. If the city council chose to turn that over to the school committee for school purposes, then the school committee would have some involvement in what is housed there. But the initial decision on what goes in on each of the floors will lie with the city council. But I'm sure there'll be some advice from our CFO and a number of different departments across the way. I know that the council is aware that there's a strong push by Lynn Seniors to dedicate 2 floors for the 37 Friend Street property, so they're aware of that. But I believe that this is a moving target in the sense that there are meetings as early as last week about internally with different departments to discuss the 2 eminent domain takings, the State Street property that's been advertised and discussed about, and the 37 Friend Street. I was not part of those meetings, so I cannot say definitively if there's been any decisions made yet. It's still a fluid situation. But again, I'd urge the seniors to make that your wishes known, that you feel that the health department may be a more appropriate location there. My understanding is Friend Street is either 4 or 4.5. I know certainly there's a desire for a vaccine clinic and moving it out of the hall to the Lindsay Hall. Whether they would need 2.5 floors or 2 floors, I can't speak for the health director. But I think the best advice I can give you is to continue to advocate for the uses that the seniors feel are most compatible with the needs of Lynn Seniors. I hate to do this to Councilor Jakutis, but ultimately it'll be Councilor colleagues that will have to make that. But a lot of input in what space is needed. The department, if a department only has currently 8 employees, having them housed in 2.5 floors may not be the wisest use of space. But I'm just giving that example. If there's a department that has more that there may be a combination of a health on the third floor and an administration on the fourth floor. I can't speak for that, but the best advice, long story short, is continue to advocate why you believe that in this instance, the health department and the senior center work together very well as a central location to meet needs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I know at one time we spoke with Director Damaris, and she was saying that, one thing that she knows the city needs is that cooling, warming station, which would be perfect, especially for the evenings. And as you mentioned, what we know now after the last 2 years is that the city needs a location for vaccinations and those things. So I appreciate your remarks.
Thank you. Anybody have any other questions? No? All right. I lost track of where we were. Are we still at Chris? I think Chris is done, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Friends of Council of Aging, which would be Joe Noble.
Okay, this morning I'd like to share with you, we were the benefactors of a very generous donation from Kiki Caton and her family. And I already talked with Chris because I sent the acknowledgement for the donation, but also she requested that when the newsletter is out, that it be in the newsletter, which is our custom anyway. Whenever anyone donated to the Friends, I send a letter of acknowledgement and the thank you and the notification of how to file for the 501c. And also, she requested a special thank you to the Friends of Inky's, her husband, who played pool with the gentleman in the senior center. So that I already shared with Chris this morning, and I will send it out to him exactly how it will appear in the newsletter. But that was a good activity for us. So I'm sure she'll be pleased to see that she will be acknowledged and her husband will not be forgotten. So that's my report this morning.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you to the family of Kiki also, in memory of her husband.
Right.
Anybody have any questions for Joan?
We have not had any meetings because we have no place to meet. We're waiting.
All right. So now we're on the new and old business. And one of them is with the VNA. Did Joan or Pam want to speak on that one?
Pam?
Yes, we had our guest at our Mass Senior Action meeting was Mayor Nicholson, and also one of our members who's very active, and they were reporting the concern over the Lynn VNA clinic and the population that it serves, and noting that Lynn is a majority minority city, and many, or if not the majority of the veterans who use services at the clinic are also, so this is an equity issue. And from what they reported, a final decision has not been made, and they're asking all of the folks in Lynn, the residents, to support the veterans here in Lynn and to write letters to the decision makers stating that we want to keep the services in our city.
And may I elaborate, for those of you that are not familiar, the VA clinic in Lynn, 15 years ago, my husband, Arthur Salkins, Representative John Tierney fought because they wanted to move it out of Lynn again. So when I saw this in the paper, I was furious, and I used the opportunity on St. Patty's Day to vent my concerns to the politicians that were there, because Lynn has a dire need We're a diverse city. We have a dire need to service. We owe our veterans. So we've got to, and they reassured me that the council, because I spoke to Jay Walsh, I spoke to the mayor, and they were kind of blindsided because I brought up the issue of, transparency. It's not transparency when you pick up the morning newspaper to find out there's been nothing about it, and now all of a sudden they want to move it out of Lynn. That to me is not transparency. I'm sorry. I get on these roles and it just upsets me because I don't want lip service. I want the city of Lynn, as we always have supported our veterans, and now they're all aging. Most of the veterans organizations can't even meet the elder. They're too elderly. So we need to be the voice for them. That cannot happen. That would be terrible. Again, I'm on the roll. It just upsets me because I know the people that fought so hard so that we can be free and we can speak what we want. And it blows my mind that these things keep popping up in the newspaper before we have any idea of what's going on behind the scenes. But in all fairness to the councilors I spoke to and to Mayor Nicholson, this was news to them too. And Diane, you must verify that was all.
Yes, it was all news to us. We didn't know about it. We found out the same way. The council did write a letter in support, every single councilor, that we want to keep that the VA clinic open. So we're hoping we just need more support from the community to write letters, send it in, express your concerns. We do need this to stay in the city of Lynn.
Right.
Well, I just want to say something. Pam, do we know or are we able to identify why? Because if this is coming up every 10 years that they are thinking of moving it, do we know why? What is the push for it? Because this is a serious issue that's going to be affecting social delivery for veterans. So have we been able to identify the reason behind this agitations that is making them to decide to move it out of Lynn?
What we heard is that they want to consolidate the services, close down Gloucester, close Lynn, and make the clinic in Salem larger and broader. So, I think it's capitalism. We're going to consolidate and then, say that they're going to expand services, but it's just like Salem Hospital. It's 6 lanes of traffic into one. So that's what we have heard, John. Yes.
And then again, too, Pam, how are the vets going to get there? A lot of them don't drive. How are they going to get to a Salem location?
They don't care. They don't care.
I know they don't. I know they don't.
I think what we need to do is to seriously, like what Joanne said, to seriously galvanize and make voices heard and really push the elected officers of politicians and let them know that the people of Lynn, the veterans in Lynn, they fought wars too. They need to be treated. They need to be taken care of. They don't have to go through that measure of traveling miles to go get services. Lynn is equally as the same city as Salem or Gloucester or anywhere. So we deserve to have our services retained. So if they can't hear that voice, then something is wrong somewhere. Like you said, Pamela, it is capitalism. Why do we in our city have to bear that brunt of wrong decision? Who is making that decision to close down, to consolidate? For what purpose? It doesn't make any sense. So if we can galvanize, put up some paper or whatever and start distributing or doing a town hall meeting for the community to let them know that we need to get these politicians to hear our voice. That's what I think.
I have a question. What level are we going to do this at? Is this at the federal level or these local or state? I'm just not, aware of who we should be, is Seth Moulton the one that would be handling something like this?
Yeah, Barbara, I would go more to Congressman Moulton's office, see what he can do from what our level. We have written letters, like I said, through the city council. I know the mayor was in support of keeping it open. So now we have to work our way up.
Okay.
Good morning, and my apology for I was having technical difficulties.
Good morning, Phil.
Morning, Phil.
Morning.
Morning, Phil.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam President.
Good morning.
Madam President, do we have something like a template or email that we can shoot out to the congressman?
Well, you know, he would be a good person to talk to, even if you call his office. He's very much in favor of any veterans thing. So I can't imagine that he would be in favor of this.
There are other decision makers too, and I can I can send an email out to all the board, and you can have the numbers, because there are there's a board that kind of oversees all of these veterans clinics, and I can send that email out, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
I can I have some contact with some people from Moulton's office. If you guys want, I can try to facilitate a meeting with Congressman Moulton. I'm not making any promises, but I can try to make a meeting that you guys can all attend.
Yeah, I support that.
That'd be it. That'd be an
It can't hurt. Yeah, it can't hurt, Chris. That's great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Good.
All right, we'll do.
All right. Next was the COVID testing PM had on here. Now, what were you saying with that one, PM? I know we don't have too many open in the city anymore. I think we still have the community health center, correct?
Yes, I'm not quite sure though if you have to be a patient to get a test there. I just wanted to, put it on there so that people know if they're searching. I believe that they can call City Hall to get the rapid test, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes. I think,
Yes.
Chris, do they call you or do they call Michelle? Who should they contact?
They can call me. Like we've given out a lot of the testing, but if a senior's in need, I'll get one to them so they can reach out to me. As far as the COVID testing in general, I think Norris would have a better idea.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. I know that as numbers have been trending down, testing sites have been reducing hours and some have left. But so Project Beacon, I know they're open Sunday, Thursday, Friday. Sunday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Thursday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m., and Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. I know that there is also the Brickyard. Actually, no, the Brickyard it has finished. They're no longer doing that. And let me see. Lynn Community Health Center, Curative, and North Shore Community College, which is Beacon, Okay, well, North Shore is its own site. And again, those times could change, and we'll let Chris know and then we can update you all.
Thank you, Norris.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is Salem Hospital and Transportation.
Yes, just also want to keep this in the limelight that we had a meeting with the Salem Hospital Emergency Room director and staffs and nurses, and they said that, one of the big reasons that the emergency room at Salem has a bottleneck is because that they have 120 psych beds and they have a good program, and psych beds are very limited across the state. And if they had a magic wand, they would have more psych beds to help the community. But also, until that situation is resolved, we want folks to know that there still is free transportation to the Linfield Street campus at the old Union Hospital. And they can just call, and when they make their appointment, they can set up a ride at that time.
All right, perfect. Thank you. And the heating costs.
Again, just an announcement. If folks are struggling with paying for their heating, whether it's oil or electric, they can call Leo and here in Lynn and set up a time to see if they qualify for some help.
All right. Thank you, Pam. And tax abatement, which Chris already went over. Does anybody have any other questions or anything to add today?
Just an announcement. Today at 11:30, I'm going to send out an email. Everyone on the board is welcome. We're going to be meeting with the city's department who is taking information and suggestions for how to spend the $58 million of the American Recovery Act money. That's 11:30 on a different Zoom. So feel free to join us to talk about what we can do. Just a reminder, it has to be one-time expenditures. So it cannot be like hiring, creating jobs. It has to be, something that you only spend once, like infrastructure or buying a van for the senior center or something like that. So.
Pam, may I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
This is just a question that I've been thinking. So we've talked about satellite, satellite senior centers. And we're talking to making the Friend Street site a new senior center. And what is going on with the Pond View? Is that going to be the Pond View still, or is the city going to be taking possession of that? Just an idea of maybe we could have make one of these sites a satellite center.
Judge, that is a good idea, but right now we have to really work on getting the main senior center open.
Absolutely, yes.
And then from there, once we're settled in the senior center, then we can see what's going on. But I think our main concern right now is to
getting one done, yes.
Get one done first and then go from there. But it's something to think about. And I also know To Life, when they start their project at the old Union Hospital, they also said, and I think in a few meetings, they would have more of a satellite senior center for residents in that area too. Mm-hmm. So it's just something we have to think about, see what's going on. But I think our main concern first is to get the main senior center up and running. And then once Chris is settled, see what's going on, we can take it from there.
Okay. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, George, though. And thank you for thinking about the satellite. Does anybody have any other questions or anything for today's meeting? No, everyone's so quiet today. All right. Well, I guess we're done until next time. Or we hear from Chris. He said something about an Easter party. I want to say, everyone, have a good weekend, and thank you, as usual, for coming to our Council of Aging meetings.
Thank you.
One quick question. I'm here with Betty. Betty just came in a little while ago. She was asking when we'll be meeting in person again.
That's a good question. That depends on everybody, how everybody feels about meeting in person. Because I do want to ask Attorney Lamanna, is he still here?
Yes.
Okay. If we went back to meeting in person, can we, if people didn't feel comfortable, can we go back to Zoom, or is it one or the other?
No, per state law, I believe it's June 30th. They've extended the option to conduct Zoom meetings through June 30th. So it would be in the discretion of each individual board. I do see a trend and a desire to try to return to some normalcy and with meeting in person. And there's always an ability to do in hybrid until June. So they could be meeting in person. I see that with the Conservation Commission and sometimes the Planning Board, where 3 of the members will be in the council chambers, but 2 prefer for health reasons or convenience to join in on a Zoom call.
Okay. That's something we need to think about. Maybe take a poll. And of course, my phone keeps ringing today. Take a poll and who feels comfortable coming in for a personal meeting, or if you want to continue on Zoom.
I think it's the location. City Hall is not the easiest for a lot of people to get to. I was just wondering, I know that we have to have it videotaped, but if we found a location, would Lynn TV be able to do a remote camera?
I don't want to speak for LCTV, but I think it's more manpower. It'd be a question of manpower. One advantage you folks have that not every board has is you meet at an odd hour, in the sense it's not Tuesday night between 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. So I'm sure that they would make every effort to have someone available to tape the meetings and to be able to rebroadcast it, given that I would venture to say this may be one of the more popular board meetings because of the passion and the number of seniors we have in the city. So I'm sure that they would make every effort to have that meeting. And it's just for a location moving forward, hopefully by May, if not June, the Friend Street location might be a possible location. So.
Great. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, and I know what you're saying, Pam. I know it's difficulty for parking for some people. Find a parking spot, then trying to get up to City Hall. Then they have to get in the back door. I know it's difficult. So hopefully Friend Street, if we get that, the new location, we can start meeting there. Easier parking, easier access. But in the meantime, if somebody can think of an idea of a place that's easier for everybody, we can try it. We can see what Lynn Community Television, if they can go. Something we can think about. I have no problem with that. It's how everyone else feels, and we have to find a place first. And
Betty can always go to City Hall and participate there.
Yep.
On our Wednesday.
Yep. So everyone think about it. Email us and your comments, how you feel about this, and we'll take it from there.
What about the Lynn Y?
That's something to consider. Like I said, put a list together, and if we find a spot that we're able to do it, and Lynn Community Television is able to be there, like Jim said, the manpower sometimes, where City Hall is already hooked up for the cameras. So let's see what we can do. If anyone has any suggestions, let us know. Other than that, does anybody have any other questions?
Nope.
All right, everyone. Well, everyone have a great week, and thank you for coming today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.